Okay, so good afternoon to everybody. If anybody's just joined us in the OT Integration Theatre. So we're now going to move on to our next presentation, which is all to do with the life and the journey of an OT apprentice, actually. So I'm going to start it off. This is the wonders of technology. We've got me, and we've got Sarah, who's very kindly stepped in because Fiona, who was going to do it's actually not been able to come today. And we've got a recording to actually show to you as well. So if that works, well, there we are. Right. so about a couple of years ago, we started with the OT apprentice programme. The actual programme was written and approved and signed off by the HGPC, and then it went out to universities. And so we decided to actually get together in Kent across health and social care to actually think about how can we bring a consortium together. So we've had a group of OTs and OT leads and apprenticeship training leads coming together for a couple of years now, meeting sort of every month to discuss what can we do together to actually bring our apprentice programme together for OT training. So we went through a journey. I'm going to go through this quite quickly, but we had lots of discussions and invited all the providers to actually come talk to us, because the OT apprenticeship programme is the programme is approved and then delivered by the university, and we go to them and we commission with them. It's a little bit different for social workers and some other professions, but that's the way we have done it in OT. So we decided we agreed some common goals that across health and social care, what we wanted in our apprenticeship programme. We had monthly meetings, we developed terms of reference, and we discussed potential numbers to gain a cohort, because for example, Christchurch, who obviously are our local university, were quite clear that they wouldn't be able to run a programme unless they had a sufficient number of students actually on the programme, because they are a business, they're going to make money at the end of the day. So this is another reason why we got together as a consortium, because we thought, well, we can, I can come forward with a couple from KCC, maybe somebody from East Kent Acute could come through with one, and together we put a consortium together. Then we went through a procurement process, so you actually then interview all of the university programmes that you want to, and we looked at about 4 or 5 in our locality, in London and Brighton and Christchurch, and decided who we would like to contract with as a consortium. And we settled on Brighton and Christchurch for Kent, because others weren't available as well at the time as well. And then we moved on basically to the recruitment of the apprentices, and we all did it our own way. We had to accept as a consortium that there would be differences from our different employment bases, because obviously some of our staff would be paid at different grades, or they'd have different skills, and some people were creating a brand new apprentice post. Some of us were using existing occupational therapy assistant posts. Some people were using vacancies. So we all had different ways of sort of getting there, and we had to actually establish that didn't matter, and we just had to agree there were going to be differences, and that was fine. We heard from all the universities, as I said, and then decided who we were going to work with. This is an employer-led process and not the education provider. So it's about us. The whole apprentice programme is driven by the employers and not the universities. So we're deciding who we want to put forward to actually do the apprenticeship. We had very solution-focused monthly meetings between all the partners, and we discussed absolutely everything, really. We eventually got to our first cohort that started in January 2020. They were in university for about 4 weeks, and then we all went into lockdown. so it was an immediate challenge for everybody. And we've been trying to sort of work with our cohort from then all the way through the COVID period, which has been incredibly challenging, but they've done really, really well. We're so proud of them. And the whole of the first cohort have passed their first year. So we're absolutely delighted. Absolutely, it's wonderful. Nobody's had to retake anything. They're such a fantastic star group, and a couple of them are here this afternoon to present to you later. So we've got our third cohort now, which is due to start in September. So the programme's going very well. We're very pleased that everything seems to be flowing, and they're all enjoying it, but they'll tell you about their part of the journey in a minute. So now we're going to try and flip to, it's the video. This is Donna Morlingrove is the programme director at Christchurch. So we're trying to sort of link everybody in to to give their perspective on the OT apprenticeship programme.
Canterbury were the first university to offer occupational therapy as a degree programme, and we are really excited to now be able to offer another route into the profession by way of an apprenticeship. We currently have over 50 apprentices working towards their degrees and ultimately their registration with the HCPC to be practitioners. What's really exciting about the apprenticeship is the opportunity to work with the employers to create a workforce that already has an understanding of local issues as well as the national health and social care agenda. A homegrown workforce, if you like, ready to take on and embrace the challenges they face. When we teach OT to the apprentices, I like to think of it as having three key components. Now, I know some of you will expect me to talk about volition, habituation and environment, but I hope to surprise you here. I'm going to talk about the art, craft and science of OT. The art is about professional artistry, our ability to reason, reflect, formulate and understand. The craft is about our technical skill, your competency to complete a specific task that's required within your field of expertise. The science is the evidence base that we work from, the application of practice and process models, the ability to use current research and literature to ensure best practice. Many of the apprentices start their journey with skills in the craft of the profession. They may have noticed the art and science, and over the course, by working together, student, academic and clinical mentor, they will build and develop their skills in the art and science of the profession to become well-rounded, competent practitioners ready to lead the field of OT forward in this ever-changing landscape of health and social care. I will now hand you over to our very capable apprentices who will share some of their experiences with you. Thank you.
Okay, hello. So there's 4 of us from KCC that are involved, although there's more of us here from different areas from our apprenticeship. So there's Josie, who's from adults. She's an OTA in the Promoting Independence team. Fiona's with the autism team. I work in the enablement service, and Kat's short-term pathways. So it's in collaboration with Canterbury and Brighton. We've got four of us at Christchurch and Jodie, isn't it, that's at Brighton, and there's 3 starting in September. So we do 2 days a week sort of work, lectures that can be online, it can be face-to-face at the uni, sometimes it's directed learning, and the rest of the time is in our normal roles at work. So we follow the full degree course while at uni, the same as the full-time students do. So it's affiliated with the RCOT and adheres to the standard set for the students, just so that we're following the traditional degree route. So we're expected to spend a minimum of 80% of our time on the job training, so that will, for me, with enablement, and the remaining 20% of our time is studying. So all in all, we're expected to sort of gain about 1,000 hours of training. And then we bring our learning through supervisions. We take it into work and we talk to our supervisors or our colleagues via meaningful conversations about what we've done and trying to put things into practice. So for me, enablement isn't a fully OT setting, but enablement is sort of OT based, isn't it? So we have those conversations, and we sort of try and develop our roles as well through talking with our colleagues, with our OT colleagues. So the benefits of being an apprentice. So what we ourselves have had a conversation and sort of think is we're sort of learning up-to-date knowledge from research. It comes up there. And then doing the apprenticeship It means whatever we're learning, we can immediately put into practice in our day-to-day roles. And we can still do normal training on top of this, which is helpful. And I think it can lead to, I've started looking myself at training that I wouldn't normally look at on the KCC site, and because it does sort of open up other avenues. So with the degree course being that bit longer, it's almost 4 years, I think it gives you a deeper understanding of the role, and it still allows you to keep your normal job while training and you're doing something that you really care about. And it also sort of introduces you to other areas of occupational therapists that you might not have thought about before. So this is what our teams think about the apprenticeship. So other staff that we work with, they can see what our journey is, and it can sort of encourage them to look at different areas of developing inside KCC as well. So we already have some knowledge of our team and client group. So, you know, with the right supervision, we can start taking on a little bit more complex work under supervision, and just getting more confident in what we're doing and understanding it more, the more that we're learning. So OT theory, it's being gained and embedded in everyday practice on a weekly basis. And we can bring back sort of ideas of the new ways of working that we're developing while we're sort of at uni and discussing things, and from research papers that we're sort of reading. And it can, you know, all go towards helping improve the services that we're already in. So as we're normally, well, we are experienced already in the workplace, there is a sort of certain maturity around professional working, and you have to be able to manage your time very well as well. But training does change over time. So working with someone who is still training is like having a student during placements. So it challenges like the processes and ideas. So the reality of being an apprentice, it is very positive, but it can be challenging as well. You do have to be very organised. At the moment, we've got 3 assignments going on, or 2 assignments and an exam coming up, haven't we? So, you know, it can be very, very challenging. So good organisation skills are really important. Oh, I had too much. So yeah, lots of modules going on at the same time. That can happen quite frequently. And it means you do have to accept it will sort of start eating into your evenings and weekends as well. So at work, you are sort of effectively part-time workers. So you do have a lot to fit in, and it can be a bit challenging trying to fit everything into sort of a couple of days at work. And but all in all, it is very challenging, but you just need to be aware that apprentices do need to do their placements full time as well, which is very challenging, and it means your post isn't filled in, you know, so they're sort of missing you at work as well. So that's not for us to worry about while we're doing the training. So yep, I think that's it. Any questions?
Right. So I mean, it's fair enough to say that the whole programme, we have to provide you with mentors and supervisors as apprentices as well. So that's quite an interesting challenge. It's a new one. It's not just a direct student supervision now. So I actually have mentor sessions with all the apprentices, because we don't have practice educators in the OT world in social care. So that's very interesting. It's quite useful trying to make all the links with all the other sort of professional, you know, components of our workforce, really, to help you learn as you're going along. But it's a really successful programme, and I think everybody's enjoying the learning as you're doing it. So has anybody got any questions, or are there any questions virtually? No. Okay, that's fine. It's echoing, is it? Oh, right, okay.
I think it's a signal. It doesn't. Okay. It's not echoing.
Okay, all right. Well, we're doing annual apprentice intake as such in KCC, and health handle it all in different ways. It depends who you work for, but everybody's got their own recruitment process. But we're trying to get to the point of having ticking over with sort of 1 or 2 new apprentices starting each year, because that helps us in our workforce planning the other end, you know, because actually when these guys come out qualified, hopefully we should still have jobs available. We have such turnover in our workforce, so there'll always be OT posts available, but if we had too many in one time, you know, it would be probably difficult to actually accommodate that. So it's nice to be able to sort of find posts for them so they can stay working with us, which is great. So good, thank you, Sarah. And Sarah stepped in for Fiona, so she did very well, so let's give her a clap.